Have you ever heard a strange noise in your backyard at night? Like a creak, a rustle, or maybe a roar? Well, my backyard has noises too, but they're a little different. A lot bigger. And a lot older. It all started last Tuesday. I was just about to head inside when I saw it. A shimmer in the air, right over the rose bushes. It grew bigger and bigger until it took shape. It was huge, with a massive head and tiny little arms. A Tyrannosaurus Rex. But I could see right through it. A ghost dinosaur. Right there, next to my bird bath. Before I could even scream, another one appeared. This one had 3 horns and a big frill around its head. A Triceratops. The T-Rex let out a massive, earth-shaking roar that rattled the windows. But it wasn't a scary roar. It was more like a playful roar. The Triceratops stomped its ghostly feet and nudged the T-Rex. They looked at each other, and then they both looked right at me. The T-Rex took a step forward, then another. It was coming right for me. I froze. My heart was pounding like a drum. It lowered its giant, see-through head and gently booped me on the shoulder with its snout. Then it backed up, did a little hop, and roared again. The Triceratops did the same. That's when I realized. They weren't here to haunt me. They wanted to play. This was the beginning of the most epic game of tag in history. I pointed at the T-Rex and yelled, "You're it." And just like that, we were off. I was running around my lawn, laughing my head off, being chased by a 65-million-year-old ghost dinosaur. The T-Rex was surprisingly fast for a ghost, but its tiny arms made it clumsy when it tried to tag me. It would lunge and miss, stumbling through the garden gnomes. The Triceratops was like a giant, friendly tank, trotting along and occasionally using its horns to gently nudge me in a different direction. Every time the T-Rex roared, I'd pretend to be scared and run faster, and it would do this little happy wiggle. It was the silliest, most incredible thing I'd ever seen. After about 10 minutes of me running for my life in the best way possible, I managed to tag the Triceratops. "You're it!" I shouted, out of breath. The Triceratops looked surprised, then let out a bellow of its own and started chasing the T-Rex. Watching 2 giant dinosaur ghosts play tag around a maple tree is something you don't forget. The next night, they were back, but this time, they seemed to have a different game in mind. The moment I stepped outside, the T-Rex let out a short, sharp roar and then vanished behind the shed. The Triceratops hid behind the big oak tree, peeking one ghostly eye around the trunk. They wanted to play hide and seek. All right. Challenge accepted. I closed my eyes and started counting. 1, 2, 3. This was going to be interesting. How do you find 2 massive, translucent dinosaurs? Ready or not, here I come. I opened my eyes. The backyard was quiet. A little too quiet. I tiptoed toward the shed first. I could hear a faint, low rumbling sound. It sounded like a giant, ghostly stomach growling. As I got closer, the rumbling got louder. I peered around the corner. And there was the T-Rex, trying its best to squish its enormous body behind a tiny little shed. Its giant tail was sticking out and waving back and forth. It was the worst hiding spot ever, but it was also the cutest. I pointed and yelled, "Found you." The T-Rex jumped, startled, and then let out a happy roar, its whole body shimmering with excitement. Now for the Triceratops. I knew it was behind the oak tree, but I decided to make it a little more dramatic. I crept around the yard, pretending to look under bushes and behind the barbecue grill. Where could that Triceratops be? I said in a loud whisper. I could hear a soft, rumbling chuckle coming from the direction of the tree. I tiptoed over, and then, with a loud aha, I jumped out. The Triceratops was so surprised it hopped back, its ghostly form flickering. It lowered its head and nudged my hand as if to say, "You got me." We played hide and seek for an hour. They took turns counting, which mostly involved them closing their eyes and making low rumbling noises until I was hidden. Finding me was easy for them, of course. I think they could smell my living personness. But they always pretended it was hard, sniffing around dramatically before finally finding me behind a lawn chair. It was pure, simple fun. Who knew ghosts, especially dinosaur ghosts, could be so playful? A few nights later, something new happened. I was showing them a video on my phone. Just some silly cat videos, you know? They seemed fascinated by the little screen. Then, a video came on of people doing that dance, the floss. I laughed and tried to do it myself. I'm terrible at it, by the way. I was just flailing my arms around. The dinosaurs watched me, their heads tilted. Then, the T-Rex tried to copy me. It swung its tiny little arms back and forth, its giant body wiggling. It was the most ridiculous, most hilarious thing I had ever witnessed. A ghost T-Rex, trying to floss. The Triceratops watched for a moment, and then it started to try, too. It couldn't really swing its arms, but it stomped its feet in rhythm and bobbed its huge, frilled head back and forth. We had a full-on dinosaur ghost dance party in my backyard. I put on some music on my phone, and we just danced. The T-Rex flossing, the Triceratops head bobbing, and me, just laughing until I cried. They were clumsy and uncoordinated, but they were having the time of their afterlives. It's become our little routine now. Some nights we play tag, some nights we play hide and seek, and some nights we just dance under the stars. My ghostly dinosaur friends. They're not scary. They're not spooky. They're just a little lonely, I think. Maybe after millions of years, all you really want is a friend to play a game of tag with or to teach you a silly dance. My backyard isn't haunted. It's enchanted. And I wouldn't trade my dinosaur ghosts for anything in the world. So if you ever see a shimmer in the air or hear a roar that sounds a little too Jurassic, don't be scared. Maybe just ask them if they want to play. Thanks for watching my story. If you've ever had a strange or wonderful encounter you can't explain, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And hey, if you want to hear more about my ghostly pals, make sure to like and subscribe. You never know what they'll get up to next. See you later.